How's it going, everybody? My name's Joe, the 40 rider. Today we're going to go out and hit some trails. Going to work on some skills, building some confidence, prove that you're never too old to do something that you enjoy doing. I'm 42, still learning, still progressing, still pushing myself to try to find those limits. So whether you're just getting into mountain biking or you've been doing it a while, follow along, come hang out, and let's enjoy this journey. Uh-oh, too fast. Gotta keep down the trail. Remember the whole trap your elbows so you can your heels back. So many things to try to remember. I feel like I bop it. Bop it, twist it, pull it. Drop your heels, elbows out. Lean your bike. Shift your weight. It is a wee bit to try to manage. Bad, I'm already tired. Thank you. That's the whole topic of trail etiquette. Like if somebody's moving faster than you, comes up behind you, do the right thing and move out the way. Those people did without even questioning. It was very nice of them. But be sure to thank people when they do that kind of shit. That's that, man. Whew. Always be sure to read your, local trails. Most trailheads have a, rules board before you even get on the trail. That goes over, just general rules, but most of the time we're common sense. When I started this little journey, per se, nowhere near enough speed. I was watching a ton of videos on jumping, right? Because they all ride mountain bikes. That's what I want to do. I want to be cool. I want to jump. Didn't focus on, bike setup, handling, cornering. So it's like this trail where there's really sharp corners right before a jump, and unless you know how to dig those corners, you'll never clear the jump. Well, me, motocross racer, motorcycle rider, it's like, yeah, I can corner a bike. So there's a big difference between mountain bike and motorcycle. Motorcycle, you lean your body with the bike. Mountain bike, you lean your bike. Supplies and pressure tires. Like I said, I thought I would, I know how to do that, that's easy. I did not. As you can tell, I've been practicing because there's a few channels that I watch where they show you some like simple cornering drills. Easy peasy. So, like practicing. Find a parking lot somewhere, do it in your driveway. Like, then come out to a trail when you can and apply it. Like right there. Perfect example. Building up speed to boost that jump just to hit a really sharp corner, and I damn near was locking the brakes out because I wasn't prepared. Now if I'd have been going down a hill and paying attention, I probably would have aced the corner. Which brings me to the next point, and bad habit of mine is staring at the ground, not looking ahead, which is, to me, a trust thing. It's like, you gotta trust that your brain's working properly. So you look ahead of you where you're going, that gives your brain enough time to process it without having to look. At least so that's what I've been learning, or trying to learn. Like I said, I'm learning. Yeah, it's like fall last year. I was sitting there scrolling through old Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this like 29-inch mountain bike for like $50. So, not knowing a whole lot about bikes, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go buy it for $50. It was a Walmart bike that weighed 3,000 pounds. But I hit a couple of the trails. I was like, you know, I forgot how much I love this shit. And being out like this right here. It's quiet. Nature sounds. Just pedaling through. Not a care in the world. Not thinking about bills, not thinking about money, or anything. Just thinking about cruising. Living my best life. So that prompted me to save up some money and buy a better bike. Which, when I say better bike, to me, I thought I was getting a top of the line bike. You know, the Trek Marlin 6, you know. Like, hell yeah. It was like almost $1,000. To me, $1,000, that's a lot of money for a bike. Which, you know, it is a great bike. With a hardtail, so I'm kind of limited on a lot of things. Oh, she didn't quite make it. And then I start researching it. Just to find out that the Trek Marlin series doesn't even make the cut for budget mountain bikes. So I'm like, oh, fuck me. But you know what? I don't care. It's the nicest bike I've ever owned. So fuck everybody. They're $10,000 bikes. Because I personally can't do it. Maybe if I had more money, I know what to do with, but yeah. So here I am. Riding a lot lately.
Reason is my competitive spirit. I was like, how cool would it be to sign up for a mountain bike race? I've seen a few videos on them. Yeah, they look pretty cool. My sister, she races triathlons and shit like that. I told her, I was like, hey, I signed up for a mountain bike race. She just laughed. She goes, you better start riding your bike. A lot. So I've been trying. And you know, there's a good chance I'm gonna get my ass handed to me by some kids or something. But the point is, I'm out here and I'm trying, right? Like, and I think at 42 years old, I'm just sitting here on a 70-something degree Saturday, pedaling my ass off on a dirty, dusty trail on a bicycle. Now, I just be at home mowing the lawn, drinking a beer, getting ready to cook out on the grill, or you know, whatever dad shit people do on Saturdays. All right, looks like we got some climbs. Now, do the whole hook the truck out thing. Oh boy. I did change another gear. Oh shit. Okay. Here we go. Oh boy. Okay. That wasn't too bad, huh? That's something else. Riding mountain bikes, I always forget about all the plethora of gears. Oh shit, I'm not ready for that. So some of you older fellas probably were like me when you were a kid. You rode your BMX bike everywhere with your friends. So you kind of grew up riding bikes. And as you got older, just kind of, you know, faded out from it. Which, trying to explain to my kid, is 15, who refuses to ride a bike or anything. It's like, man, like I couldn't wait to get my bike, because that was like the first taste of like freedom as a kid. Like, you could go wherever you wanted. You could do whatever you wanted, you know? Well, not whatever you wanted, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that was your first real, like, I can ride over to my friend's house on my bike without having to get a ride. And it was like the most beautiful thing ever. Holy shit! I was not expecting that, dude. That scared the living f*** out of me. Oh! Okay. Holy shit. That was slightly terrifying. No, that wasn't slightly. Oh, I gotta collect myself after that one. Jesus Christ, that was scary. I don't know if the GoPro does it any justice to how big of a drop that was off that fucking thing that was like that. It was a ways. Probably the biggest drop-in I've ever done. Whew. So I think we're about halfway now. Definitely not in shape. And I keep saying that. Something might be like, "Oh, you're pretty skinny. You look pretty fit." Like, yeah. But I also smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. No judgment, please. I know it's a nasty habit, but I smoke. I drink. I don't smoke weed. Got nothing against people that do. Just not my cup of tea. So when I say I'm not in the greatest of shape, not bullshit. Like, I really am not in that good of shape. I get winded easy. Don't have stamina. I don't have endurance. I remember, drop your heels. Hinge position. Hinge. Hinge your body. Elbow down. Shift your weight forward. Shift your weight back. Heels. Elbows. Shoulders, knees, and toes. Now, I'm a very, extreme learner. When I get into something, I go full on, deep in, head first. And I try to learn as much as information as I possibly can in the shortest amount of time possible. Which I found as writing these here, it becomes a problem. Because you become overloaded. So you come into a corner and you're like, wait, do I drop my heels? Do I throw my elbows out? Do I shift my way forward? Do I go backwards? What do I do? Your brain gets too overloaded, overprocessed. You don't remember what to do. You panic. Worst case. So, try to learn one technique at a time. Now, I don't claim to be any bicycle guru, that's for sure. But like I said, there's a lot of really good channels out there to where there are people that have been doing it a long time that take the time. Oh, that looks fun. Should we do the skinny? That's kind of cool. Oh boy, another climb. All right, this could be fun. Or death. Oh shit. Woo. Okay. Trying to learn how to do the whole pump your body thing. Not just for perspective. Just so you know, most of these jumps I am not clearing. So you can probably tell the ones I clear and the ones I don't. There's ones that I don't have a solid thud. Oh yeah, a lot of good content, a lot of good info out there. Like, they would say, start with a bike, watch a few videos, you know, fitness. That's very important. You don't want to be 5'7" and get an extra large frame bike, because that's something that I really didn't know a lot about. And earlier when I was talking about the bike I bought off Marketplace, that was a large, which, you know, was huge. Had like a giant stem on it, and I absolutely struggled, like, doing anything other than just riding here and there, you know. Oh geez, whew. Oh boy. So I did a bunch of research and a bit of a bunch of measurements, and, you know, inseam and arm length, and usually most manufacturers have a sizing chart which roughly goes off your height. And I'm on the verge, like 5'7", 5'8". I'm like medium, but like could be a small. So I decided to go with a medium in case I, you know, grow into it. Haha. I put a shorter stem, taller bars, adjusted my saddle properly. That's the other thing, is really important, is fitting your bike to you, where you're comfortable, where your hands aren't hurting, where you can find that good balance and control. Now, this bike was far from stock. It started out, you know, just a factory bike. Nothing fancy. 29-inch wheels. There's like a RockShox Judy silver spring shock in the front. That was, you know, Shimano Q's shifters and whatnot. Yeah, it was a nice bike. But me, I like to experiment. I like to change things up, try different things. So I went with mixed wheel set first. Put a 27.5 rear on it. Left 29 up front. That was a lot of fun. I felt it kind of, you know, made the bike more playful. What I found with 29-inch wheels, they're really tall. So you're like really up in the air, you know? That's when I decided to go. $27.5 in the front. And in order to do that, I had to put a different fork on. So I found a nice RockShox Recon, I think. It's like entry-level air fork, which, if you don't know anything about forks, I'm no expert, but it's a lot more tunable to your riding style and your body weight, where you can adjust the air pressures, make it feel good. Now, here I can tell you, I ride so much more aggressively with that air shock on there because it eats up a lot more. Now, granted, it is a hardtail, So, bike still chatters your teeth out. Now going from 29 to 27.5, if you're a weight weenie, I shed 4.5 pounds of weight just by changing wheels. But I lost a lot of ground clearance. So I pedal strike here and there. But it has their pros and cons. Like me, with the BMX background, I prefer something 27.5. It's a little bit lighter, more playful, closer to that BMX. That's still rugged enough to go out on trails with. Number 29, I was doing strictly trail riding. I'm proud to run 29s because of the rollover speed. And you can run over, you know, logs and stuff like that a lot easier, a lot smoother than you can. This is a wheel diameter. And so there's a lot of videos on explaining all this. Me, I'm a research nut, so researching it and watching videos, and like, it's good to do, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, me, it's doing it. What I recommend is finding somebody with a bike, you know, it's 29, find somebody with a 27.5, you know, hit some trails if you got some cool friends that'll let you. Don't be, you know, don't be shy. And like, this is the first bike that I've ever bought brand new, and from an actual like bike shop, because I've always been like had that snobby feel. You know, I live in kind of a snooty ass town, but I was like, you know what, I just gotta get in there and fly the fucking bike, be done with it. And the people at St. Joseph Bike Shop in St. Joe, Michigan, the Trek dealer, and the guy, owner, counter operator, and the sales kind of stuff, was the nicest, most helpful guy. Their guy on the parts counter was extremely helpful. You know, if you have any questions, and offer you free tune-ups for like a year. If anything goes wrong, bring it back, we'll take care of it, blah, blah, blah. Just incredibly nice people. So don't let that kind of, you know, intimidate you. It's not all bike shops are assholes. But now another thing that I'll throw in real quick is, like, with 27.5, like me really leaning towards that, is I like to do a lot of like urban free riding stuff where I'll go right around town and find cool stuff to like jump off of and hop up on, and you know, just basically the kind of shit you used to do on a BMX bike when you were a kid with your friends, you know. So trying to do that on a 29-inch wheel is really hard to do. So that's why I went with a smaller wheel set. It's in between a mountain bike and a dirt jumper. Good luck. The most important thing is get a bike that you feel comfortable on, and don't constantly change stuff. Like, change something, ride it a while. Change your stem length, ride it a while. Take it on at least 2-3 rides. Okay, well, that's too short. Bar width, bar height. Like, set up where it feels comfortable and ride it for a while. Because if you're constantly changing stuff, you can't really get a feel for how much you like or dislike it. You know? So give it a chance. Lame.
Catch up with you later.